Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Star Wars Lads. We've got a reaction for you all for the first full trailer for Star Wars Skeleton Crew. This is kind of a surprise to us and to pretty much everybody. We knew a trailer was imminent. Didn't think it was going to be the day after Agatha ended. So we're going to react to it right now. It's just me today. I'm going to be giving you the reaction. And then Sanak's going to send me a video of his little summary thoughts at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But first, we're just going to watch the trailer here. I'm going to give you my initial reaction. I have not seen this yet, and here we go.
What are you in for?
Right off the bat, the music, very different, obviously.
What are you in for?
I found something buried in the woods.
Dad.
This is unacceptable. Do you understand?
So yeah, you're getting the
What do
Spider-Man
you think it is?
kind of No Way Home vibes, the very 80s, John Hughes, Goonies, Richard Donner vibes, Amblin
Don't touch
vibes.
anything. What did you do?
We're lost. Really lost.
And the Ortolans look so good.
Stay together.
I
We just need
can't
some
wait to see all the
directions
creature effects in this. It's just,
Come on,
it's
kid. Pay up. Whoa.
that's
We
going to
should
be the
do
most
fine in
impressive
Old
part of the
Republic
show.
credit.
The most impressive part of the show is going to
I'll
be
get you
the
home.
menagerie of creatures.
But we have to move fast. I need you to take the controls.
Okay.
Neil? Neil?
A crew of murderous
A
pirates
tease.
is coming.
Droid looks pretty cool.
They're not going to just turn up. We need to find them.
We're not alone down here.
Be warned of booby traps. Pirates. And mountains where none dare to go.
If you hear this, don't give up. No matter what.
So yeah, I mean, okay, 2-episode premiere. That's news as well. So 2-episode premiere means it's going to go 1 week shorter, obviously, than we thought. I think it's still going to end at the beginning of February, maybe the last week of January, but still, that's a big announcement. And I love that Disney Plus has been doing these 2-episode premieres. I think it allows the viewer to obviously get a little bit more hooked into the show when you just do a 1-episode premiere and it starts out slow. People don't get as hooked right away. So I think that's a smart move. They've been doing that a lot lately, and I think that's great to keep it up. I think at this point we can just kind of expect 2-episode premieres pretty much every show now. But let's go back through some of these shots here. I mean, we have so many great, certainly Goonies-inspired shots. You have, I mean, just the fact that the pirates are one of the impetuses of the show. This droid looks so good, and there looks like a really interesting mix, maybe of practical effects and CGI. You got like a little creature growing out of its eye right there, which is pretty cool. I think this show is, in this trailer, really is giving you exactly what we kind of all wanted from this. I think this is going to be the unassuming hit of Star Wars TV, and probably the biggest hit since Andor, if I had to guess. I think this is going to be a show that's underviewed for its first couple episodes, and it's going to get that word of mouth. People are going to say, hey, this is a pretty fun show, because there's no expectations around this. At least for me, I have no expectations. You're not expecting to see the Jedi and the Sith and the Mandalorians and bounty hunters and all these things. Well, maybe bounty hunters. We have the pirates from The Mandalorian Season 3. They don't make too much of an appearance in this trailer, but you get a little shot of one of the pirates there right here, who looks, I mean, the sets and the costuming is amazing. This is just absolutely going to be a showcase for the Lucasfilm art department, and that's cool. I'm glad they get a series, and you get some newer looking species, or some species we haven't seen in live action here a little bit, and just also the CGI parts of these sequences too. When you see the ships flying, I mean, it just looks so good. This looks like a show they absolutely put movie budget, movie time in, as opposed to The Acolyte, where we kind of watched those first few trailers and we're like, doesn't necessarily look like the greatest sets, doesn't necessarily look like the greatest costuming. Here, I mean, just everything is so convincing, from the Jawas to the CGI creatures to the full-on animatronic creatures. I mean, to have a full-on Ortolan here that you can interact, or that's going to be interacting with our characters literally every scene, can talk, speak basic. Those are going to be some impressive sets. And I think every week we're going to really be spoiled by how many different things we get to see visually that maybe we haven't seen since like Return of the Jedi. Here are the pirates, and we get this is the pirate played by Urkel. And I think this is going to, maybe is she a Dathomirian? We'll see how some of that unfolds. Looks like, is that a New Republic officer here? So, I mean, we do know this takes place during the time of the Mandalorian in the New Republic era, so there's going to be some connection at the end. I wouldn't be shocked if they just run into Din Djarin for 5 seconds as well, because I think they're going to try to do some of those little cameos or those little things, Easter eggs from those other shows to continue to sell this show. But I don't think it's a bad thing for them to just be like, hey, this is its own little deal here until maybe the last episode or post-credit scene. Because right now Star Wars is in a state of flux. We kind of need things that are going to be insular. We're going to need things that are just their own fun, exciting stories. And this seems to be bringing back the wonder and awe of Star Wars, maybe for the first time really since A New Hope. Like, it's that seeing this world through a child's perspective. And as we've seen these children live on this very suburban planet, both from this trailer, but last trailer, them being thrown into this world. Right there, they're wearing like army helmets and stuff. Like, what is going on here? They're in the middle of a war. I think there's going to be some really, really just entertaining sequences. I expect this show to just be entertaining every episode, whether it's an episode that just is a fun little adventure with that owl creature, with Jude Law doing something. Every episode should have a little Goonies adventure. I don't know if this will necessarily be a show that every episode continues to like build dramatically, but it's going to be a show where they're discovering things. I mean, we have the end here with, let's see, we have the end shot here. Yeah, and they're in like a Indiana Jones style big, huge treasure room. This reminds me more of the Temple of the Forbidden Eye, the ride of Indiana Jones, than it really does any particular scene from one of the 5 movies. But this is this is as classic as it gets. Definitely Goonies as well. So man, I think just visually this whole show is on point. There does look like there's more action than you kind of expect. I mean, I kind of expected more adventure style action where it's a lot of running and chasing, and that does seem to be what it is here. I doubt we're going to see these kids shooting people constantly, but I mean, Star Wars does have that, so we'll see if they have that. But some of these landscape shots as well, I mean, snowy planet, this could be, it obviously is not Alderaan, but it could be, then I don't think it's Hoth, but we could be seeing a bunch of different locales here. I mean, we obviously are, but yeah, some of these shots, they're just beautifully staged. I think this show is just going to look immaculate. I can't wait to see what is in store overall with the story and the vibe. And as long as this show is fun, as long as we're looking forward to it every week, this does not need to be a life-changing and or dark, deep television show. I think this can prove that Star Wars has room for multiple types of Star Wars storytelling, and I'm just excited to be back in the world of Star Wars. It's been a long break since The Acolyte, longer than we're usually accustomed to these last few years, and I think that's been refreshing. We've all been able to get over The Acolyte a little bit and now move on to this. But I'm going to pass it here to Sanak for his quick thoughts, and then we will do a live on this next Tuesday. We always go live. If you want to check out our live and have a little bit more in-depth thoughts, because this is just my immediate reaction. And then you can hear some of the things we uncover via Easter eggs. But I'll pass it over to Sanak right now for his thoughts, and then we'll wrap up the video.
Just got finished watching the latest Skeleton Crew trailer, and you know what? The hype is really starting to intensify for me. Doesn't seem like it's anything too important to the Mandoverse, but the budget is starting to be flexed a little bit now. There's so many cool creature designs. I love the scene where the little server guy cracks open an egg and it looks like a live creature comes out of it. And like, yeah, it's all the things that would make a kid scared and excited and horrified all at once. Yeah, it looked pretty solid. There is a real sense of like depth of focus. A lot of cool shots in general being selected, but you can see like X-Wings flying about. You can see the ship docks. All of that looks really well done and really expansive, which is really getting me hyped because I felt like a lot of the recent Disney Plus outings have done that really well in some parts, but in others feels a little too claustrophobic. But yeah, it all looks great. I like Nick Frost's droid SM-33. You know, he's something. I'm gonna call him Smee, right? Just like the old Captain Hook pirate. But yeah, I didn't realize he's gonna be so physical. I thought he'd be like kind of like an older pirate guy, but he's just punching people left and right. It looks all very cool. I like the dynamic of the kids and going for a major Tom cover and what seems to be Huttese to really kick off things. It's a choice. I know some people might not love it, but honestly, I thought that was smart. It gets the Goonies vibes going real immediately, the whole 80s vibes. And it's crazy that we're doing 80s pastiche for a franchise that really started around the late 70s, early 80s, that itself was doing a lot of like early 20th century pastiche from Pulp Fiction and comics and all that stuff of that time. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I love the new designs. I like seeing a little bit more of the kids. I love little Neil having a few scenes of being like, yeah, no, I can fly this. I can fly this. And, you know, it looks pretty great. Still don't know too much about the plot and details, but this is the kind of trailer that gets me more excited than any of those really plot-heavy ones because it tells me, like, hey, how are the performances going to stand up? And so far from what I'm seeing, the humor and the action, it's right up my alley. It looks like it's going to be a great holiday release.
All right, well, thank you, Sanak, for your thoughts, and that is going to do it for today's reaction for Skeleton Crew, the official trailer number 1, I believe. Hopefully we get more. I'd love to see more. Acolyte did do 2, but they did a teaser and just a regular trailer, so this might be it. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, come back to the channel if you are new for continued Skeleton Crew coverage. We will be covering every episode via a live and then doing our traditional predictions. I'll have a video out for all the characters I think can show up in Skeleton Crew, and we'll have a lot more Skeleton Crew coverage as we build up to Skeleton Crew. So keep an eye out on the channel for that, as well as all of our other great content, shorts, community polls, our Patreon, all that type of stuff. Continue to check it out if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you all next time.